Hello and welcome to the very first tutorial where I'm showing a sample knitted on a chunky machine. Recently I got a chunky brother, which I'm so excited about, and I'm really excited to share more stitches on this machine. Today I will show you a really simple lace stitch, but I think it has a really lovely texture, which I really hope that you enjoy. This stitch works with an odd number of stitches. For this sample I cast on 17 stitches. I will skip 2 stitches from the edge and transfer the next one, so the third, 2 stitches to the right. So I'm skipping 1 stitch and I will transfer it onto the next one. From this needle, which now has 2 stitches, we will skip 1 and transfer the next one to the left this time, and again going over 1 stitch. And after completing this repeat, the needle in the center here has 3 stitches. We'll skip the next stitch that we have in work and we'll transfer the next one again to the right over 1 stitch. From the needle that now has 2 stitches, we'll skip 1 and transfer the next one to the left over 1 stitch again. So that same needle receives a second stitch, which is actually a third. I will continue transferring like this. Skip 1, transfer the next one over 1 stitch to the right, or 2 stitches to the right. Skip 1, transfer the next one over 1 stitch to the left. Skip 1. I'm going to make sure to put all the needles that I just emptied back in working position, and I will knit 2 rows. Next, we will be staggering the repeat. So the needle that we skipped previously, right here, this is the needle that will now receive a stitch. To make it a little bit easier to follow, I'm just going to tell you how many stitches to skip from the edge. So right here we will skip 1, 2, 3, and we will transfer the 4th one over 2 to the left this time. Skip 1, transfer the next one over 2 to the right, and as you can see, that needle that we skipped previously, which is this one here, this is the needle that now receives a stitch. Skip 1, transfer the next one over 2 to the left, skip 1, Here, a good idea is to also bring the needles all the way out, just so we don't have any accidents on the next row. And I will again knit 2 rows. It is very important to test your tension when knitting the stitch, since we are transferring over 1 stitch. Make sure to test first with a looser tension, just so you don't have any accidents or break any needles and so forth. Looking here at our sample, you can see that we have a section here where we have knitted 2 rows with a finer yarn, and I did that just so I can add a little bit more texture to the sample. But of course, if you don't want, you can just continue like that without knitting these rows, and I will do a section just so you can see how it looks without these rows. Also, the right side of this swatch is supposed to be the purl side. I think is so much nicer. If we look at the knit side, it's not really that impressive, so just something to consider if you want to use this for a project. I'm going to remove my main yarn from the feeder, and I will add the finer yarn. This is my main yarn where I actually have 2 yarns, and this is the finer one, just so you can see how big of a contrast it is between them. Another thing I will do, I will change my tension to 0. and I will knit 2 rows. I will remove the fine yarn from the feeder and I'll add back my main yarn. I'm going to make sure to change my tension back to the one that I was using for the main yarn, and it is tension 7. I will knit 2 rows. And then continue with another transfer, just like we did before. Skip 2 from the edge. Transfer the next one over 2. Skip 1, transfer the next one over 2 to the left. And continue like that across. Oops, I made a little mistake, but it's really easy to fix. I just have to undo all the transfers. I'm going to continue with a few more repeats without knitting those 2 rows with the finer yarn, just so you can compare. And here are 3 versions of this stitch. This is a sample with a rose in between with a finer yarn, which is my personal favorite. And here's a sample without those rows. And there is a 3rd version where I repeated the first row 3 times before I staggered, and then I repeated the 2nd row 3 times as well. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and you will give these stitches a try. I'm very excited to try more samples on the chunky machine and share them with you. As always, if you do have any suggestions or any ideas that you would like to share with me, please let me know. Also, please consider subscribing to my channel. I see that so many people are watching that are not subscribed, and it would really help the channel if you did. Thank you once more, and I will see you in my next one. Bye bye!